By now, you've already noticed something. You don't struggle with decisions. You struggle with how you feel when you make the decisions. Some days you're clear, some days you're excited, some days you're overwhelmed, some days you're confused. But guess what? Even though the decision hasn't changed, your feelings will consistently evolve. Hey guys, welcome to the Advantage podcast with KMR. I am KMR. Well, my name is Rejoice Azuka Owuseba, but everyone calls me KMR, Kingmaker Rejoice. And this is one podcast where we have conversations where you think, where you come out of your comfort zone and you confront those limiting beliefs and limiting behaviors and limiting patterns that you ordinarily would not confront. I look forward to you growing and becoming through this podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Advantage podcast with KMR. Oh my goodness, last week was phenomenal. We talked about, how smart people don't make the best decision because intelligence and judgment are two separate things that need to be understood. Today, I want to talk about how to think clearly when your emotions are loud, because I'm sure you've noticed that you don't struggle with decisions, you struggle with how you feel when you're making them. Some days are clear, some days you're focused, some days you're sure, other days everything feels heavy, uncertain, and yet urgent. And the truth is this: the situation has not changed, it was your emotions that changed, and that's what makes it difficult, right? Because it's not always the circumstances that confuse you, but your emotions. And if you don't learn how to manage that, you'll keep making different decisions in the same situation, depending on how you feel that way. So, let's start by saying this. Emotions are real, but they are not reliable. I know. Your emotions are wild, but they are not always accurate. They tell you something is happening, but they don't tell you what it is. And they definitely don't tell you what to do. For example, you're anxious about a decision and your mind says something is wrong. But anxiety can come from different things, from the fear of the unknown, from lack of control, from even past experiences. Not necessarily because the decision in itself is bad. But if you treat every emotion as an instruction, you will begin to avoid what you actually need to face. You see, when emotions are intense, they create a sense of urgency. So you feel like, I need to respond quickly. I need to fix something right now. I need to make a decision immediately. But urgency is not always a sign of importance. Sometimes it's just discomfort. And when you feel discomfort, you just want to be relieved. For example, if you go out and drink so much water and you're pressed, it feels like you're about to pee on yourself. But sometimes, even with that discomfort, you could stay another 1 hour before you find a restroom and you'd still be fine. You see, the fact that it was urgent did not mean that things will get bad at that moment. I think we need to learn the wisdom of understanding the discomfort of waiting. That sometimes you refuse to indulge your emotions and choose to take a step back and pause and ask yourself, is what I'm feeling correct? Is the way I'm feeling the way that I desire to feel? And is this the space where I want to make the best decisions? So someone sends you a message that unsettles you. Your first response is to explain, to correct, to react, and just send a message back. But if you pause, you may realize that, I'm misunderstood, or maybe I'm triggered, or the situation is not as serious as it felt. I'll tell you a funny story. I have this friend who always plays pranks with me. And, she sent me this message, and I don't know, but sometimes, when messages come in, the emojis may not come in immediately. and it came as, the sign, and then I didn't know the sign, so I was just about to respond to her, "Are you silly? Like, why would you say something like this to me?" And then I looked again after about 3 minutes, and I saw like the emoji had popped up, so I knew she was joking. Now I asked myself, why was I feeling that way? I was actually having a bad day, and she sent me that message to cheer me up. But imagine if I transferred aggression to her just because there was a network delay and the emoji didn't show up when it was supposed to show up. That's how some of us are. We want to quickly respond. We're uncomfortable with the pause. We're uncomfortable with holding on and just getting it, taking your time. Remember, emotions can create urgency. Now, you have to realize that the way you feel would affect the way you think. You don't think the same way in every state that you find yourself. When you're calm, you're measured, you're balanced, you see options clearly. When you're emotional, your focus is narrowed. You exaggerate the outcomes. You move faster than you should. So the same decision can look completely different depending on your emotional state. And this is why timing matters. Don't make decisions because of your emotions. Give time. One of the simplest ways to improve your decisions is to create space between your feelings and your actions. Now, I'm not saying ignore forever, because some of us just have this, okay, I'll just ignore it and it will sort out. No. Just enough time for you to think properly. Don't react to every feeling immediately. Sit with it, observe it, understand it. Pay attention to patterns. Is this how this person normally reacts? If it's not, then maybe am I misunderstanding something? Is there something going on in my life that is influencing my current reaction? You need to understand yourself. And then, the second thing I would encourage you to do is name what you feel. When you name your emotions properly, do your best to be specific. I know you're saying, "I feel off," but ask yourself, is it fear? Is it pressure? Is it disappointment? Is it jealousy? Is it fatigue? Is it overwhelm? Because different emotions require different responses. For example, if I'm overwhelmed, I go and do something fun. If I'm fatigued, I go and have a good nap. You see, by the time I wake up, I'm a lot more clear-headed to make my decision. Or by the time I'm done with my fun stuff that I do, I'm clearer to make my decisions. I've noticed that if you mislabel the emotions, many times you end up mishandling the situation. Stop mishandling situations and begin to evolve, begin to grow, begin to become a lot more intentional in the way you respond to things. Remember, the emotions need to be named so that there is no misinterpretations. Now, you don't have to trust every thought that you have. Strong emotions produce strong thoughts, but not all thoughts are useful. Some are exaggerated, some are temporary, some are reactive. If you accept every thought that comes to your mind as true, you would act on things that you don't actually believe. So, if you notice that your emotions are speaking very loud, withdraw and notice, okay, is it just a moment or is it a pattern? Observe, withdraw and observe. You must not react the moment you feel the emotions. Time, they say, is a gift that can salvage a relationship, that can salvage your life, that can help you make the best decisions that you need to make. If your emotions have been loud lately, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It means that you need to slow down and respond appropriately. Remember, you don't need to react to everything you feel. Take a step back, observe first, and now choose to make a decision from there. Here's what I want you to sit with today. What decisions have you made recently based on how you felt, not what you understood? And I want you to address that. Make corrections where you need to, apologize where you need to. And I know that you can do so much better. Until I come your way next week, bye for now.